Hey, what's going on, my guys? So, sorry if it's a bit quiet. People are sleeping. Also, no, I'm not high. I'm just really tired because it's like 3 o'clock. I just got home from tournament. It was the locals. Pretty big one, but it was the locals. A couple hours ago, so, I had to go through all my stuff. As you can see, I got a bunch of new stuff. Background, I got a temporary tripod. Play mat, a real one, so you don't have to look at that paper thing. But yeah, so what today's video about is combo tutorial on how to correctly do Droll Reincarnation, because I've seen so many people do this weird and wrong, and it's confused myself in the process. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to correctly do it. I plan on doing combo tutorials for other decks, certain things like that, so and rulings, as well as actual film of duels, tournaments, stuff like that. So if you guys like the video, just hit like, subscribe, notification bell. You know how that works. And yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Alright, so first of all, for this combo, you need Droll and Lockbird. And there are a couple different ways to do this combo. The main way you're going to do it, if you're running Trickstar, which I don't know why you'd be watching this if you aren't, but you're going to need 2 Trickstar reincarnations. So, first off, I should explain why you need 2. The reason you need 2 is for the simple fact that its wording. Droll and Lockbird can only be activated when a card is added to their hand. Now, the way Trickstar Reincarnation works is banish your hand, then they draw. So they would banish Droll, then you would be able to activate Droll. So you have to wait to activate it, but by then the combo doesn't work. You're just normally drawing them. So that's why you have 2. So, since Droll can only be activated when a card hits the hand. However, it can be activated in a chain off a card hitting the hand, So, for example, let's say my opponent has 2 cards in their hand, right? Let's say 2 Trickstar Reincarnations set. Say we only activate 1, right? Its effect goes off. They banish their hand, then they redraw 2, then you draw them. Their hand doesn't get banished because you have to draw them when they draw. You can't until they draw. Now, how it works is you flip 1 reincarnation, take their hand, banish, they draw it back. Then you flip the second one. Now, in response to a card being added to their hand, the last card they draw. So, since a card's added to their hand, this means that you can trigger an effect in chain in response. So, then you can trigger this reincarnation. Now, since the start of the chain was a card being added to the hand, that's when you can play your Droll and Lockbird, in which then Droll goes off first, cards can't be added. Since reincarnation was already in the chain, its requirement is that you banish their hand. So they banish, they can't draw it because of Droll and Lockbird. Now, so that's the traditional way of doing it. You need 2 reincarnation for this. However, there are other ways. The other way you can do it is, let's say you have 1 reincarnation, you have your Droll in hand, and let's say they use Pot of Desires, right? Banish, 10 cards, then they draw 2, right? So they banish 10, they draw 2. Since they drew, when the last card's added to their hand, you can chain reincarnation. Since reincarnation was being chained to a card being added to their hand, you can chain Droll to the reincarnation. Then they wouldn't be able to draw. So, just in case you're kind of losing what I'm saying here, is Trickstar's Reincarnation says banish your opponent's entire hand, And if you do, so they banish it first, step 1, then they draw the same number of cards. So they banish, then they draw. Droll and Lockbird, let's say you activate this, then you draw. Droll, you can't. That's the point. Is you can't because they don't add cards until this effect resolves. So you can't actually change Droll until they draw. So basically, here, I'll give you an example. They draw for their turn, standby. Reincarnation. Chain, or you can't chain it yet because they haven't drawn anything. So they banish their hand. They draw. Chain Droll. That's it. They still have their hand. So you see what I'm saying here? I just want to make sure that like you get it, because I know it's really confusing. At least the videos I've watched. So, but let's do this again with 2, just so that way you guys get to see this. Alright, so standby phase, Reincarnation, banish their hand, they redraw. In response to cards being added to their hand outside the draw phase, Reincarnation. Since it was in a chain link where cards were being added to the hand, since it's in response to a card being added to the hand, then you can chain Droll. You see what I'm saying? So it works too, like I was saying, if your opponent, say they use Terraforming, right? Terraforming, they search for their field spell. Since the field spell was added to their hand, you can chain upon the card being added to their hand, Reincarnation. Since it was in the same chain as a card being added to their hand, chain Droll and Lockbird. So that's how you do it. I know it can be confusing. I'll put some links down below. MST TV does a very, very good job of explaining it. It's kind of hard because I don't have an opponent in front of me right now to actually kind of show you that. So, but, yep, that's going to be it for the tutorial. So, you know, again, if y'all, you know, if you like the video, hit like, subscribe, notification bell. Everything's appreciated. I'm going to be putting content out as much as I possibly can. Tonight I'm actually making a couple videos. I think I'm making one more tonight. I was going to make a third one. I forget what it was going to be. But, yeah, so like, subscribe, notification bell, and I'll see you guys later. Team Big Play signing off.